Welcome to another update video. In this video we are planting our onions and garlic, we're creating a window for our folding door, are removing the small greenhouse from the market garden as we neglected it for some time, and process more apples. As we have seen that the garlic and the onions grow very well this year, we tried a little bit of a closer grid. In the start of some beds, we decided to go with 90 garlic and onions per meter. In other beds, we decided to just go half of it, so 40 of them a meter. Here you can see us loosening up the ground, which is the first task before planting the garlic and onions. As we still haven't repaired or improved our broad fork, we're still using those gardening forks to loosen the ground. Next we put down our template and use a little stick with a depth indicator to make the holes where we put in the garlic and onion. Although this may seem a little bit slow, it just takes half an hour for two people to finish up one of the beds. And it gives us the possibility to have very clear and straight lines, to have replacement garlic and onions planted as when we see that they don't work. And as we were so happy with the harvest from this year, we decided to go for in total 10 beds. And as Nini and Anna worked through one of the last of them, they get help from our new little helper. In early spring we finished up this folding door, which shall keep the warmth inside the house. But without this little window up there, or with a missing window, this ain't really serving the job. So we had to do something about it. As we didn't have the proper dimensions that we needed at hand, or didn't want to buy it as we had a lot of wood laying around, we used this off-cut pine wood, glued it together, and started to build a frame for the missing window out of it. As you have seen us doing a lot of slot and tenant joinery already, we did it off camera and directly jumped to the finished frame. There was just a little bit of cleaning up to do with a very nice sharp new planer blade, which made it very easy to make all surfaces level with each other. It's always a blast to use this planer. After all surfaces were level with each other, I used a big table saw to cut in the rabbet where the window will sit in the frame. And this is also a process you are not new to. We cut multiple sections into the wood, use a chisel to even out somewhat the surface, and then use a small planer to make it totally even. As we already have done this multiple times, I will fast forward that process. Although this is an important project, I didn't find enough time to finish it up this week, as other projects demanded more time. One of these projects being the first terrace that we want to use for planting vegetables as well. What you see here is behind our house where we have our fruit trees. Usually we don't spend too much time here, as we haven't cultivated anything, or nothing really is here what needs our attention beside of the fruits. But this is going to change. Unfortunately, we had two trees standing in the area which were a little bit in the way, so we first had to chop them down, later on process the branches and the stem of them, and get out the roots as well. And like always, when there is something very heavy or tedious to do, our lovely neighbor helps us out with his knowledge and his big tractor to get it out of the way. From our spring cleanup, we had some more stamps standing around, which we took care of as well. It was super nice getting them finally out of the ground, as mowing the grass around them is really stupid. And like always, if you have a hard job done, you need to discuss new plans and projects. After cleaning out the area a little bit, I was sure that our handy tiller would tear up the ground like nothing and made short work of this small plot of land. As you may already see here, this was more wishful thinking than reality. But I was convinced if I give it a couple of another rounds, maybe it would start digging to the ground. Unfortunately it didn't, and you can see me already starting manually opening it so that I may be possible to work with the tiller again. Which actually worked out pretty well. Unfortunately for me, that meant I have to open the whole ground first with a hand hoe and then work with the tiller. As this was quite time and energy consuming, this day I was just able to do a third of the plot. Unfortunately, in the next scene we had a little bit of a problem with the camera. The picture is very shaky and I didn't exactly know what the problem was there, so we'll make it short. As already mentioned, we neglected the little greenhouse we built for quite some time. This is very unfortunate as some of the wood started to rot due to the fact that we didn't took proper care about it. We decided that we want to reuse on what is left of the wood and still good to build up a new greenhouse or improved greenhouse closer to the house itself. As we still had a lot of apples to process, Anna and Nini went ahead and pressed more than 5 times in 2 days, which was quite an effort to get everything done and processed. One good choice that we took was not making juice out of all of them. Some of the apple juice we boiled down to syrup, so we reduced it from 25 liters to between 3 and 2 liters. This was saving us some time as we already had a lot of apple juice, but also gave us a very different product. We are excited where and how we are gonna use it in the future. We also let some apple juice sit so that it ferments, as we want to make vinegar off of it in the future. And finally it was time for our pumpkins to leave the bed as well. This will be the last year we will grow them inside our beds, as they went from somewhere between 2 to up to 14 meters long and were overgrowing every neighboring bed. So we'll come up with a new solution in the new year. Nini took all the plants out and harvested the last pumpkins laying there. That's it for this week's update video. Special thanks to Anna for all the help in the last couple of weeks. See ya!